This is your WCIA 3 forecast first.
Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
It's a great end to the work week here in Central Illinois. Lots of sunshine out there. A very pleasant evening. After the news, you want to go take a walk in parts of Central Illinois and enjoy today. Light winds tonight as well with a clear sky. That means the warmth we've got now, what little is there, it's fairly seasonal in the 60s out there. We'll be dropping quickly, but look what's off to our west here. 70s and 80s, that is coming our way as we head into the weekend here. The weekend looks very warm and wonderful out there, except the wind is back here. That may be the fly in the ointment for us. We also think the chance for rain and storms returns as early as Sunday afternoon. We'll time it out hour by hour for you and tell you about temperatures next week looking a little cooler. All of that and more as WCIA 3 News at 6 starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
Victims of crime are often left to deal with the trauma where there's a place to go and heal. Plus, 4 people were rescued after a house caught fire. What investigators say was the cause.
And a truck with a passed-out driver was stopped on the tracks. Who stepped up just before a train came rolling through?
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
We really hope that we will be able to help young people recover and then hopefully choose more peaceful solutions to their problems.
That's the goal of a program in Decatur. They're helping young people overcome challenges that may be stopping them from living a better life. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Trauma can come in many forms and have life-changing consequences. Sometimes victims don't know where to turn for help, and that's where the program Macon County Heals comes in. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is with us. So Jamie, tell us, what does the program do?
Jennifer, leaders say this is a collaborative effort that connects people to resources. When families feel they have nowhere else to go.
Our goal is to help people recover from the impact of trauma.
Then Macon County Heals steps in to help. Victims of domestic violence, witnesses to shootings, and people who've experienced other traumatic events are given the resources they need to move forward. It's run by the Child First Center and is for people up to age 25.
Partnerships like HEALS exist, then perhaps those people won't go on to suffer the rest of their lives because of PTSD.
The program started about a year ago, and several organizations and agencies are a part of it, including Dove.
HEALS acts as a coordinator. They have the connections to all of us, and they can work with the client, talk with them, and see what is it you need, and then they can provide that referral to us.
Our job is to help crime victims if they need safe and affordable housing, if they need temporary safe shelter, if they need assistance in getting orders of protection.
They're hoping the program will provide the services people need to overcome obstacles and create a better future.
When you face trauma and you do the counseling and the therapy related to the traumatic experience, you can heal and move on and have a healthy life. But someone that doesn't get that opportunity to deal with what happened to them, it can affect them for the rest of their lives.
Some other services HEALS provides include case management and help filing a crime. They want people who need support to not be afraid to reach out for help. Back to you, Jennifer.
Because it's there. All right, thank you. Some of the partners with the program include the Decatur Police Department, Macon County Sheriff's Office, Crossing Healthcare, and Growing Strong Sexual Assault Center.
Here's an update to a story we first told you about yesterday. Investigators say the fire off Prospect Avenue started in the kitchen near the stove. They've now ruled the fire there to be an accident. Champaign firefighters pulled 4 people from a burning home. These are some of the pictures. 2 women, 2 kids were stuck on the 2nd floor. All of the victims were taken to the hospital in critical condition. We don't have an update on how they're doing tonight. A firefighter who served others for more than 2 decades is now gaining support from the community as he battles Alzheimer's. Tony Vespa worked for the fire department for 27 years. He taught kids about firefighting at Richland. He retired in 2017 because of a neck injury. After leaving the department, he developed the disease. He is 54 years old. His sister-in-law set up a fundraiser to help the family with health care needs.
It's important because when you come here, you're part of our family, and when you retire, it doesn't mean you stop being part of our family. So, you know, it was a fellow brother who needed help, and that's what we do, and that's what the guys are doing.
The chief says that Vespa's condition has been getting worse. Some members have been helping take care of his home and yard.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time. A deputy woke up a passed out driver just seconds before a train hit his car that was sitting on the tracks. WCIA3's Cole Henke is live at those tracks in Taylorville. And Cole, this was a really incredible scene.
Yeah, that's right. The truck was actually stopped on these tracks right here behind me, right outside of Taylorville near the ADM grain elevator. And this is a few miles away from the Christian County Sheriff's Office. But Deputy Andy Voorhees only had a few minutes to get out here and save the driver from the incoming train. It was 3 in the morning on Wednesday when Taylorville Sheriff Deputy Andy Voorhees got the 911 call. A truck was stopped on the railroad tracks just outside of town. He rushed to his car to head to the scene, but it wasn't until he got outside that he realized how fast he needed to move.
When I walked out of the office, I heard a train horn.
Voorhees was the first to the scene. The truck was still on the tracks with the driver passed out in the front seat. He ran onto the tracks trying to wake the man up, but wasn't having much luck, and time was running out. He had time for one last attempt, or else he would have to get out of the way to avoid getting hit himself. That last attempt finally worked. The driver woke up and in a panic hit the accelerator, moving off the track, and Voorhees cleared the tracks just as the railroad barricades dropped.
I played it back in my head 1,000 times, you know, and you don't know how fast the train, I remember looking down the rail and seeing the lights and everything lit up.
Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettlecamp woke up to a text describing the event early that morning.
I couldn't be more proud of Deputy Voorhees and the job he did.
It wasn't until after the driver and Voorhees were both safe that the gravity of the situation really started to set in.
When it all clicked, I was shaking like a leaf on a tree. You know, the adrenaline dump happened, everything that they tell you about is going to happen when you get in those certain situations, and that's what happened.
Now, the driver of that truck was arrested on a suspected DUI charge, and Voorhees had actually met that driver before when he arrested him 2 years prior, also for a DUI charge. Reporting in Taylorville, I'm Cole Henke, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Okay, Cole, thank you so much. This is a follow-up. Railroad crews will be checking out the closed Seminary Street in Danville. They may be there as soon as Monday to figure out whether to replace or repair the train bridge. That's at Seminary Street from Colette to Washington. Rocks and pieces of wood have been falling from the overpass. City engineers say CSX should have an answer in a few weeks.
The Champaign County Humane Society is making a change where some prospective pets are headed.
And also tonight. It was a Friday afternoon to enjoy the outdoors with music to boot, who hosted their first concert in more than a year.
All right, Jacob, you mentioned it off the top. Warm but windy.
But windy, that's coming back for us here. It seems like whenever we get that warm weather in the spring, the winds really start to pick up. That's going to be the case heading into the weekend. The warm weather, though, won't last all that long. We get a little cooler behind a cold front that comes in Monday night here. 70s ahead of it. I think Tuesday looks cool and showery with more chances of rain ahead. There's 3 different systems heading our way, in fact. We'll time those out for you and let you know more about the rain chances coming up after this.